In this video, you are going to get all the list of the documents you must gather if you are applying for a family reunion. If you are Italian national, right? So if you are an Italian national, this video is for you. The paper channel said if we are obtaining Italian citizenship, right? And then you want to come for your family member, either a spouse, children, or your parents, then stay here to the end of the video. Now, number one, by the way, if you have any question, don't hesitate to comment alongside, right? So I've already have a video on those of you who are having a local passport. What I mean by the local passport, your home country passport, that maybe let's say a Ghanaian passport or get a Ghana passport. I've already done a video. You may consider checking that. If you are a Ghanaian or a Togolese national, you can consider checking that application. But this is for those of you who have obtained a citizenship in Italy, or maybe getting married to an Italian or Italian citizen, right? So this video is for you. So number one, of course, if you are applying, you always have to have your application form available, right? So you always need to get your application form available. Then you have to fill that is a mandatory. And the idea that ornament maybe and also on your application form they fill it to 4 passport pictures, white background. That is for the applicant here. It's applicant in Ghana or applicants in the home country. So I'm talking from Ghana, so let's use Ghana for instance. So maybe this also applies for other nationals who are being required to submit their application in Ghana. Is that okay? Okay. Now the passport biodata is something anytime and then your passport. Is that okay? Your passport should have a minimum numbers of a period to the expiring date. Also, and make sure say expiring date in year too close, right? Okay, so the original birth certificate and the copy. So you need your original birth certificate and the photocopy attached to the birth certificate, right? And then the original recent status de familiar. So that this document is even is straight from the Italy. So the one in Italy has to provide that. If you don't know, if you are the one watching me right now, you are in Ghana, you don't know this, make sure that you just send a name or this video link to the person, right? So the person will just verify. And then, or you can copy the name, I'll put it in the status de familiar. So they know that's the family status, that's the English version. So the family status of your what? Your husband or your wife in Italy also will provide this documents in it. And then the original, and then they can Italy animal. So we are going to speak let's say Italian language. So if you don't understand, you are no more part of the video. So you are going to hear words. Okay. So original certificato de residenza storico is it anagrafico. So I'll put the words on the distance. What it means is a certificate of what? Resident historical personal data. So that is what your personal data, your history of being in the country. They need that history. It's okay. It's a certificate that you must what? Apply, add it to residence. Maybe let's say the reason why. Maybe now work of our money. Mostly the Kobe na ya mutawi apa Kobe ni momone wako wia Kobe ni momone bia no another one they need a history. So no within 6 months, right? It shouldn't be more than 6 months. So they needed a certificate. Is that okay? All right. So and then you also need a family declaration. So ato notary, right? So you need that. Is that okay? So the relation to the person in Italy. So you need your family status declaration to attach to the application, right? So you also need that. So followed by what? Old order. Permiso de Segino. So Segino, you have to provide a Segino. So what is the Segino? That is a resident permit, right? So the old one, the old and the old one. So since you are an Italian national, you need the old one. Of course, we are having the old one before you gain your national. So they need that one. Is that okay? So that is what the old permit. So the Segino, the old one. That's a resident permit. So the English version is a resident permit in this case. Now, once again, are you jotting? By the way, if you are getting some value from this video, why don't you subscribe to our channel if you haven't? If you want to learn more about your visa application, the documents, to avoid the mistake that or the delay that people have been doing all the time. So we are here to support you all the time. If you have any specific question, just make sure that you type in your issue in the comment section. We'll be glad to respond to as many as possible that we can. Okay. And then it also be so kata the identity card. So that is the identity card. So maybe I say Ghana had no say Ghana card, right? So maybe if you say Togo, let's say card the identity. Yeah, I think that's the word. Yeah. So your ID card that shows that you are citizens of that country. So they need that ID card as well, right? So all pages. That is the old and the new passport of the world. The one in Italy. Let me brief you on this thing. I didn't know how besides our old passport. This is a quick one, right? So to see that, mostly sometimes, how many times have you been into your home country? So if say they needed that passport to verify that okay, you were present at the marriage. So of course the passport must have a stamp inside. That's a verification. Or maybe you don't have. You see, those of you have been applied to a benefit. I want to say maybe a benefit or it has a restriction, it has a guideline. So maybe some of the benefits are minimum. So what benefits are you cannot travel with a benefit. Want to make 5 benefits and let's say you took a benefit in Italy. Your husband is in Italy, the person took a benefit. So on your benefits, the person cannot move with a benefit to the other country. I want to make 5 benefits in home country. So they need a passport to verify all these things. Is that okay? So all the benefits in the bad, then I say what boom so it's against the law, right? So per the country in which you are watching me from. So those are some of the reasons. So you have to be extra careful, or maybe if you also need a consultation, just type in the comment section below consultation, and then we'll be glad to also share our knowledge in the field for over years now. Is that okay? The immigration laws are not stagnant, and yet they be a war, baby. Always it keeps on changing. It's like a cry anymore. We can also share that with you. And then if you don't know, we always ask. We call out, and then we go to the embassy. We go to the various places to find out what exactly what is going on, right? Until yes, we are calling visa. Okay, where have you gotten into? So I have the list of all the documents that you have here straight from the portal, right? Straight from the portal. Okay, and then clear copies of what? Certificate de Citandinaza. Is that a word? Certificate de Citandinaza. I'll put the name on the screen so you just check that. That is a certificate of citizenship. So it shows that okay, you are dealing with a national case here. Is that okay? What shows that you are a citizen? What shows that you obtain a citizenship? And then it just says you are no Ghanaian, you are no more Ghanaian. So they issue a certificate to you to prove that you are that they need that certificate. So of course, a clear copy of that copy. Okay, all right. Now, so these are the general requirement for the family reunion. That is the general one. So now let's dive into the specific part. Until you're breaking it down one by one. So be on more be funny area, or be on almost or be funny ba and as any ba, and I'll be also a person be far now for right. So the parents in this case. So let's break them into 3 parts. Is that okay? Which one do you belong to? Let's see. Of course. So let's start with the spouse. So yeah, don't know yes, in young coupon. Bomber say, and I say, fantastic, the same also applies to the women. It's not only with the men. So most of the application that we have been seeing is that it's more of a marriage, a spouse, right? So that's and then followed by the children, the child, and then parents. One. Yeah, I think so we process 1 or 2 parents side. The last time I was applying for an application, the man came for his mother as well as his mother-in-law, right? Straight over family in Alcoy. When I was processing and assisting on that application, when we got to the embassy, because I was the representative, okay? When we got to the embassy, they say, "Oh, really? We will not see this kind of application, or it's been a long time." The one in charge told me that I'll catch him someone with that. So the man is coming from the mother as well as the mother-in-law. Many workers here, the 2 of them are there. That is nice. So let's start with the spouse. Until you start with spouse now, that is a couple, right? So maybe a man want to come, an Italian citizens want to come the wife in Ghana, right? So you share what are the documents aside those general documents. What are some of the other documents to prove the relationship? Now that is the family status. So the family status this one is done by the applicant in Ghana. In fact, so Obani never Ghana animal. Obani will have to declare that. Is that okay? So this one has to be done at the notary public. That the after the notary public, it has to go to the judicial service. Since I've showed that paper in the previous video, it's the same thing. So how is it done here? Also call commissioner of oath, and I said notary. No, you have to go to the notary public. No more around this. If you need help on this family status, you can just type in family status, right? So type in the comment section family status. We will assist you on how to get that. Okay, it consists of the nuclear family. I was saying nuclear family, nuclear family between you and your husband and the children. Mpacho, one nana enka ho, one grandfather, one uncle enka ho. So a family status, the nuclear family status. Until you can okay, no husband, more ambassy, your back, your me, your 4, your 5, your 6. Omu now mudin or some mudin then a basa family status and also one kasan wudin and our husband and the ejuma ben or your infant or date of birth then sanya man or say ba when so if you know most patriotic because you have been seeing this mistake a lot of time. Oh husband ever bow baby so this is the time to open up, right? Some person will come is between you have to consult and then see how best I'll bet me then I filed the application to avoid any delay and then any unnecessary interview questions along the road. And then I be quite here one person. Okay, so husband or baby, you have to add that person's name because I say nuclear. It's a nuclear family between you and your husband and the children, the direct children, right? Into now the account. Okay, so also about baby and also do banner account. So in case of anything, feature reference, super sub fan colana, and I say any other you should be and both in and out. Me can in and out. I be a husband in Mano, a bit more Italy honomo, and I say a bit more Ghana. So baby a more beer and the home here so or ye omumba, right? No the account. So be this owning by any more family issue. So you should know how to handle that point. Okay, now what shows that you guys are couple? Then HSM we are for. So number one is about the ordinance family or the marriage certificate. Somebody was asking me if it's a Muslim certificate or bet me the Muslim certificate. I've never seen some before. So the one that they have been requesting for is the ordinance. They are more court and courts are wearing. Let a man drop my umbra down. Is that okay? So we'll do the ordinance marriage certificate and then it must be legalized. I'll also be uploading videos on legalization. So any questions be to Italy because I have to other countries on this platform. And so any question be you have along the road now, just make sure you type along legalization, marriage legalization, basically. Just make sure you type and then we also reach out to you. Baby, okay. So you have to legalize the marriage. So the requirement for the legalization, a quick one is the Sergino Carta de Identità, then the passport copies of all the pages, and then pictures, right? So marriage or couples pictures, and then the original marriage certificate. So that's the requirement. And then now booking an appointment for legalization through the VFS portal. Then you submit the document for the legalization. Oh, here a service, so of course we are available to do that for you. Okay, and then what again? So a proof of a registered marriage with the embassy by the Italian spouse. So what shows that you guys have married? Someone said this is how it goes. Aside the Ghanaian marriage certificate now I'm providing, you guys have to legally register your marriage at the embassy. Is that okay? So one, the Ghanaian marriage certificate, and that is what you use to register your marriage at the embassy. It's the first one I'm doing there. You did that at the court, right? So you guys did that at the court. So now in this case, you have to prove that you guys are married. So that one comes with some interview and other stuff. Is that okay? You have to provide one or two documents for that. So you need to go to the embassy and then go and do that registration. Aside the Ghanaian one, because the person is an Italian national, so you have to do the things in a national way, right? Unlike Serbia, the first one of your Ghanaian passport, now as a Togo passport, to come from the wife, you don't need to register your marriage again at the embassy. Is that okay? So you have to register your marriage at what? at the embassy before you proceed with the application. Okay, certificato de stato libero of the spouse in Italy. So that certificate, the one watching me right now in Italy, has to provide that certificate attached towards the application. So these are the documents that you guys need when you're applying for what a national spouse or family reunion. Is that okay? And to say anywhere we are or the safe journey, so let's look at for those who are for the children or the child and the embofrano. And I say we call and our person be fun with we are having an Italian national, right? So we are now citizens of what Italy. Okay. Now, so you have to have a guardian permission to travel. So a guardian's permission. So this permission, I think, I've already explained this permission in the previous part, in the previous video, right? When I was talking about those with the Ghanaian, it's the same thing. So over Akolana is supposed to be say or you're underage, right? So minor, you have to be a permission. And you won't want to about front barrier. So the two of you have to collaborate. Now more this is not the time to do that. It is the time for the child. And so now you guys should come together and then do that. Right? And so now over here the permissions of the other party. And so now you can proceed. So if I say Papa or Italy, ni Papa is a citizens of Italy, or person of Akolano, or wow, so one person of or so what you have to do here is that you have to need the consent of the mother. Is that okay? The consent of the mother to prove that okay, why you have to say okay, I'm a friend of it then ako now ako tell Papa I feel bored without any objection, right? It's done at a court. To be your court, right? And then you notarize that. Make a notarization. I also almost stamp notary public for the stamp which then you have the official letter head of the judicial service of Ghana at that. So is that okay? As long as if you need any guideline, just make sure that you consult. You always need to ask, right? Also, we are available to do that, and then we have been assisting people for many of years now. Okay, and then that is one. So I find is okay, I'm finding my you need a death certificate. Death certificate, right? So also you have to provide that. So as any papa you have to provide that. Is that okay? And then the case I've already explained that in the preview. You can consider checking that. But let's brush it through here. So the case where both of you are in Italy, then the both of you have to sign that an authorization letter given to the third party. So third party and find say more new abi or any auntie the number man is out to me no. Is that okay? Mbeko Italy or no me no mark on neutral public and I say the police headquarters. You can check that video. I'm declare say okay, Moody to me you are giving the authorization to all the authority to this person to stand on your behalf to process the application for your child. Is that okay? Now me no more then more sign now the account now there but any day in the about Friday day baby I will call up to the embassy on an call, right? Okay, what will happen if the two of you are separated? Okay, way to different country, way to different country, not in Ghana, right? And then also here. So the one that is not in Italy, and find back or South Africa, and I say back or Canada. So that person has to go to the embassy. So the Italian embassy in that country. Right now, of course, you choose our authorization. And so authorization, I'm sending the embassy in direct, and also a copy. No, I send it. No, the account application. No, not there. But you need the permissions of the other party. Now the account. So those are some of the cases I'm explaining down. So if you have any other issue again, let me know in the comment section once more. Okay. And then with that document, I'll say ID account because that is how we are going to show the identification. ID. Let me copy of your passport biodata. Is that okay? Now the account and then the passport picture, right? So to show an identity or photo identity. Now with the account application. Okay. Now since Abafrano Oya Kolanins, it's being assumed that he or she is a student. And so a student, we need the original testimonial or the school certificate to attach to the application, and then weighing card. Abafrano's weighing card. Now they account. Okay. Now once again, sir. If you've gotten your information up to this point, we also wish you well again, then save journey and then go and do your application. Now this is the latter part here. So by the way, if you enjoyed the video up to this point, and why don't you give a subscribe? This helps boost the algorithm of the YouTube channel, right? Is that okay? Okay. All right. So finally, that is for the parents. You want to come for your mom. Maybe I want Brana. I think the last time, I think one application we did, the woman was pregnant, right? And so they needed someone to support. You wouldn't say going to women send me a whole lot. They needed a family member to be in. So I'm a family quite, right? So it depends. The one that I just said previously, only the I'm say they want to, their parents should be behind them. Yeah? So that is it. So it depends on the reason, right? The last application you are processed to Spain, and the man was somewhere. This woman that I was talking, their matter, I think one was 50 something, 60 something, and I'm like, oh, yeah. The other one to a certain man was somewhere approximately 70 years, and I'm about finding it now. Because it depends on your case, right? It depends on your case. So if you have the nationality, I think you have more chance to do many things as compared to those who are having your Ghanaian passport. Okay. Now for the parents, so aside the general information I'm provided at the beginning, so these are some of the additional documents also they can sign. So of course, your father or your mother in Ghana here has to prove the family status. It seems that the family status cut across everywhere. It also prove that, of course, the nuclear family status. So the nuclear one here is that maybe I'm trying to say, oh, Italy, you want to come for your mom in Ghana here, right? So you want to come for your mom in Ghana. And they are saying here, your mom has to declare a family status, including all children, both in and out. Is that okay? Both in and out also declares our family status, and it must be endorsed at the judicial service, right? Also, channel sign or endorse it at the judicial service, and then money transfer, money. Why are they requesting for the money transfer? You say your mom should come in join or your dad should come in join, and they want to see that at least you have been taking care of the person. So right, if the person goes there, it's not gonna be a burden. Then to say Ghana no more, you can do anything that you want to do all the time. But now be having 10 hours, and I mean more struggles. No, it's not done that way, right? So they need the money transfer, the receipt, right? The receipt to show that you have been taking care of your mom. So if you don't do that, start doing that. And Seniska, Emma, Mama, Meno, Papa, no more if you know. But if that is, they sometimes also put pressure on the working force, the working age, more the pressure too. So, but even say, Mammy, I want to say a father or a mother who has their property, they don't need your money. How do they do it? You have to prove. How do you call that? I think there's a word they normally. You have to prove a property inheritance or something like that. Yeah. If you have a property, be a woman, papa, and so what are you doing? Be our CFA or the rent. So you have to prove that document that the person is financially stable. And so on here, what I say, it's all about documentation. You have to prove that. Maybe our cars be a it's okay, you have to prove those car documents and amount or tanya on monthly or weekly or whatever the arrangement is. You have to prove that. But maybe I advise you that maybe once or a while and then you send something small to reflect, right? So those two names has to reflect. And since I'm sending this car, my name will be on the receipt and then the recipient name will also be on the receipt. Now, this is pay a close attention. They don't normally accept a receipt that you guys have been issued from Ghana, maybe a mobile money now. No. So the one in Italy has to go to the office, or where if he or she has been using an app or use an app now, they send here, then the person have to download that statement, right? Directly. They need the official one from Italy because of fraud and fake documents and that single receipt now you guys have been receiving in Ghana. Maybe find our transfers Canada far bank and our call bank over 3 years interval now. I say that receipt number in 111. No, they don't want that. I won't pass our document. So go to let the one in Italy go to the office where he or she has been sending the money. Or call one and say, I need the financial statement for my mom or for this particular person. Now the account application. Okay. Now here is the case. So the best set of what? The next one is the best set of what? The Italian citizens. So if you are a Ghanaian being switch from your Ghanaian to Italian citizen, so one naturalize your honor, then they give you a different birth certificate, right? So that suits their cases, because you are no more a Ghanaian, you can't be, right? Is that okay? So they give you a birth certificate. You have to add that birth certificate to the application when you are applying for. So these are the many informations that we have for you when you're applying for the national. Someone requested for that, I think, in the comment section. If you're a follower here or if you have subscribed to this channel, I believe that you surely get this information. Whatever you have, whatever the case, who was in Bisabia, feel free to comment in the comment section. We'll be also glad to support you. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed for your visa updates in the documentation. Thank you very much.